Welcome to this educational lecture on new FDA medications from 2024 to 2025, focusing on the cardiometabolic revolution. Before we begin, please note this important disclaimer. This presentation is for educational purposes only and does not constitute medical advice. It is not intended to replace clinical judgment, official hospital guidelines, or the advice of a qualified healthcare provider. Always consult appropriate clinical resources and specialists for patient care decisions. The information presented reflects data available as of January 2025. In 2025, the FDA has approved several breakthrough medications across key therapeutic areas. This lecture covers systemic innovation in four major domains: cardiometabolic disease, liver disease, pain management, and hypertension. Many of these novel drugs have been approved through expedited pathways, and some represent first-in-class mechanisms. Let us explore each of these groundbreaking therapies in detail. Sotagliflozin represents a unique dual-action mechanism, inhibiting both SGLT1 and SGLT2 transporters. In the kidney, SGLT2 inhibition promotes glucose and sodium excretion, providing the familiar benefits we see with other SGLT2 inhibitors. However, what makes sotagliflozin special is its additional SGLT1 inhibition in the gut, which delays glucose absorption and modulates incretin hormones, including GLP-1 and PYY. This medication targets patients with type 2 diabetes and worsening heart failure, with initiation recommended pre-discharge or within 2 days of a heart failure hospitalization. The clinical evidence supporting sotagliflozin comes from two landmark trials. The SOLOIST-WHF trial enrolled patients with type 2 diabetes and worsening heart failure, demonstrating a remarkable 33% reduction in the composite endpoint of cardiovascular death and heart failure events. The SCORED trial studied patients with type 2 diabetes, chronic kidney disease, and cardiovascular risk, showing a 25% reduction in composite cardiovascular endpoints. These transformative results establish sotagliflozin as a powerful option for cardiorenal protection. When prescribing SGLT2 inhibitors, clinicians must be vigilant for euglycemic diabetic ketoacidosis, or EDKA. This paradoxical condition presents with normal glucose levels, typically below 200 milligrams per deciliter. Yet the patient is in ketoacidosis. The diagnostic triad includes a pH of 7.3 or less, bicarbonate of 18 or less, and the presence of ketones. The critical action when EDKA is suspected is to immediately stop the SGLT2 inhibitor, administer intravenous insulin, and provide dextrose. This is a must-not-miss diagnosis that can be life-threatening if overlooked. Resmetirom, marketed as Rezdiffra, represents a historic milestone as the first FDA-approved therapy for metabolic dysfunction-associated steatohepatitis, or MASH, formerly known as NASH. This medication is a thyroid hormone receptor beta agonist, selectively targeting the liver to resolve steatohepatitis and improve fibrosis. The FDA approval covers non-cirrhotic MASH with moderate to advanced fibrosis, specifically stages F2 to F3. In clinical trials, approximately 30% of patients achieved resolution of NASH without worsening fibrosis, compared to only 10% with placebo. For primary biliary cholangitis, 2 new PPAR agonists have been approved. Seladelpar is a PPAR-delta agonist indicated for patients with PBC who have an inadequate response to ursodeoxycholic acid, or UDCA. Elafibranor is a dual PPAR-alpha and PPAR-delta agonist, serving as a second-line therapy for PBC. PPAR stands for peroxisome proliferator activated receptor. Both medications effectively reduce alkaline phosphatase levels and provide relief from the debilitating pruritus that significantly impacts quality of life in PBC patients. Suzetrigine, branded as Jernavx, represents the first novel acute pain mechanism approved in over 20 years. This medication is a selective sodium channel blocker, specifically targeting the NaV1.8 channel to stop pain signals at their source. What makes suzetrigine revolutionary is what it does not cause. No drowsiness, no physical dependence, and no misuse potential. This non-opioid approach offers a paradigm shift in acute pain management, addressing the urgent need for effective alternatives to opioid medications. Aprocitentan, marketed as Trivio, is a dual endothelin receptor antagonist blocking both ETA and ETB receptors. By blocking endothelin 1, this medication promotes vasodilation and effectively lowers blood pressure. The indication is for resistant hypertension, defined as blood pressure that remains uncontrolled despite multiple antihypertensive medications. However, clinicians must be aware of the boxed warning for embryofetal toxicity. A REMS program was mandatory, and patients must also be monitored for hepatotoxicity. This medication is absolutely contraindicated in pregnancy. Bempedoic acid offers a unique approach to cholesterol lowering by inhibiting ATP citrate lyase, or ACL, which acts upstream of HMG-CoA reductase in the cholesterol synthesis pathway. The pathway proceeds from citrate to acetyl-CoA to HMG-CoA and finally to mevalonate. While statins block HMG-CoA reductase, bempedoic acid blocks the earlier ACL step. The key advantage is its muscle-sparing property. The enzyme ACSVL1, required to activate this prodrug, is present in the liver but absent in muscle tissue. This means effective LDL lowering occurs in the liver without causing the myopathy that limits statin use in many patients. The CLEAR Outcomes trial demonstrated that bempedoic acid reduces the risk of myocardial infarction and coronary revascularization. However, there are important safety considerations. Hyperuricemia and gout occur in approximately 26% of patients, so uric acid levels should be monitored. Tendon rupture, while less common at around 1.2%, is a serious concern. If a patient develops tendon pain, the medication should be stopped immediately. These pearls and pitfalls are essential for navigating bempedoic acid therapy safely. Vericiguat works by restoring the nitric oxide-soluble guanylate cyclase-cyclic GMP pathway, which is impaired in heart failure. In heart failure, nitric oxide levels are low, leading to reduced activation of soluble guanylate cyclase, decreased cGMP production, and impaired smooth muscle relaxation. Vericiguat directly stimulates the SGC enzyme independent of nitric oxide and also sensitizes it to available nitric oxide. The Victoria trial showed reduced cardiovascular death and heart failure hospitalization with a number needed to treat of approximately 24. Importantly, vericiguat is renal safe with no dose adjustment needed for chronic kidney disease. However, it is contraindicated in pregnancy due to teratogenicity. Finerenone is a nonsteroidal mineralocorticoid receptor antagonist with a newly expanded indication based on the FINEARTS-HF trial. This medication now covers the entire ejection fraction spectrum: heart failure with reduced ejection fraction below 40%, heart failure with mildly reduced ejection fraction between 41 and 49%, and heart failure with preserved ejection fraction at 50% or above. Finerenone reduces cardiovascular death and heart failure hospitalization. Its nonsteroidal mechanism is distinct from spironolactone, offering a lower risk of hyperkalemia compared to traditional steroidal mineralocorticoid receptor antagonists. Let us review the 6 key medications covered in this lecture. Sotagliflozin, branded as INPEFA, is a dual SGLT1 and SGLT2 inhibitor targeting heart failure with type 2 diabetes. Resmetirom, or Resdifra, is a thyroid hormone receptor beta agonist for MASH. Suzetrigine, marketed as Jernavx, is a NaV1.8 blocker for acute pain. Aprocitentan, or Trivio, is a dual endothelin receptor antagonist for resistant hypertension. Bempedoic acid, sold as Nexletol, is an ACL inhibitor for patients with statin intolerance. Finally, Finerenone, branded as Kerendia, is a nonsteroidal mineralocorticoid receptor antagonist for heart failure with preserved or mildly reduced ejection fraction. To conclude, here are the high-yield takeaways from the 2025 clinical landscape. First, we are witnessing systemic shifts in how we approach cardiometabolic disease, treating the system rather than just individual organs. The liver now has its first approved therapies for MASH and new options for primary biliary cholangitis. Second, new mechanisms are emerging. Non-opioid pain relief with suzetrigine and dual endothelin blockade with aprocitentan for resistant hypertension. Third, safety vigilance remains paramount. Remember the risk of euglycemic diabetic ketoacidosis with SGLT2 inhibitors, the REMS program for aprocitentan due to teratogenicity, and the risks of gout and tendon rupture with bempedoic acid. Thank you for your attention to this lecture on the cardiometabolic revolution in FDA-approved medications.